Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We got Bentley out here enjoying some T28 action. So we're back at the field with the MB339 version 2. We didn't catch the maiden on film a couple weeks ago because we did it down at the lake bed down in Muroc, and we're not allowed to film or take pictures there without authorization. So we did not get the maiden on film, but it's all right. It went pretty well for the most part. Um, so I thought I'd go over a couple aspects of the airplane. We do have the King Tech K102 G5 in here. Now these airplanes are only rated to 85N. This is a 102. The 102 is pretty small for its size, and the exhaust diameter is pretty similar to an 86. So it's basically as big as you can get away with in this airframe. And really, it doesn't necessarily need the power. An 86 flies these things really nice. But I thought, well, I'd go with a 102 just to give it a whirl. Not that I was unimpressed with the power of the 80 that I had in my version 1, but, more power, baby. So we set this one up for the K102. This does have a Synapse receiver in it. We actually flew the airplane on the first flight without Synapse. I had a standard 20 channel in here. I actually pulled this one on my Bearcat because they're out of stock right now. And my original intention was to put Synapse in it, but they're out of stock. So I thought, well, I'll try without Synapse first, see how that goes. And the model flew fine. It flew well, but we put one flight on it this morning with Synapse, and it's such a big difference. It just the model is so locked in, so smooth, so rock solid with Synapse compared to nothing. And granted, you could probably get similar performance of that with other types of gyros, but as far as Spektrum stuff goes, Synapse is definitely the way to go. So I got a couple of smart packs in here, one for the landing gear, one for the turbine. This is the new King Tech pump. So this is the K5 pump. I'm sorry, the G5 pump. And so essentially this has a starting side of the pump and then a running side of the pump. So it's a super high pressure start. And what that does is it gives a real fine mist, and it allows the turbine to spool up and fire off really quickly. So we've had a couple of interesting starts. I'm not super sold on the G5 technology just yet, but it's been fine today. So it's been having normal starts. But anyways, pretty standard layout. I really built the airplane per the instructions. I didn't do anything outside of the instructions, so which is rare for me. But so it's built per spec, and I will probably be adding a second tank up in this area here. We're getting about 7 minutes with a little bit to spare, and which is fine, but we prefer a little bit more flight time than that. But anyways, I can go over the Synapse adjustments if you guys want to see that. Pretty simple to do here. Go to forward programming, gyro settings, AS3X settings. Right now I'm at 0.5 sensitivity. The gains 55, 65, and 75. I could probably go down just a little bit, but it seems pretty happy right there. And then on the stick priority, I got 120, 120, and 115. I haven't set up the nose steering gyro yet. It doesn't really need it. I know some guys think that's a pretty cool feature, and I'm sure it is. I just haven't messed with it yet. So timer set at 7 minutes. Show you guys the travel here. So I have my ailerons on separate channels. I have some offset in them, so that's why you see more right than left on my ailerons. So I just kind of scan through the stuff here. You guys can take a look at what I'm using. So that's pretty much it. I am running dual rates, actually triple rates. I'm flying on mid rate for pretty much everything. And then here's my elevator settings: full rate, medium, and low. We're not using low, and we're not really using high. High would be for like extreme aerobatics and stuff. On mid rate is pretty much everything you need for standard type flying. But anyways, let's take this thing up. Alright, so let's fire this thing off. I like to start it with the hatch off so I can keep an eye on everything. I'll show you guys this quick start feature. Hopefully it doesn't go up in flames. Just like that. Alright, well, we're going to have to let that cool off and try that again. That's pretty weird because it started fine last time. Alright, well. Alright, well. Try this again. Always be ready to shut it down if you need to. Alright, well, that was a normal start. I don't know what happened last time. Always an interesting time with the G5 start. Like I said, we did a couple of starts here earlier and it was fine, so I think it's just really sensitive to temperature and humidity change. But anyways, here we go. Run up on the brakes a little bit.
Timer start.
It was about a 60% throttle takeoff. Now this is a pretty draggy airframe, so you can put a bigger turbine in it, but it's only going to get so fast. Like I said, I didn't really put the bigger turbine in it for the speed. It's more just to have a little more vertical punch. See just how smooth this thing is with Synapse in it. It's kind of crazy. I used to be really hard against gyros, and now I pretty much have them in everything. It just makes everything better. There's really no way around that.
Time remaining 6 minutes.
See if we can find the old ceiling here. Looks like we're just about there. You can see at knife edge is really, really well. I got the CG pretty far back. It's about 6 inches back. That's one thing about not having a gyro is it was really sensitive and not super stable with this CG. But with Synapse, much like in a full-scale airplane with fly-by-wire, it kind of takes all that out, and now the airplane just flies fantastic. Definitely going to be a bit of a low show here, as we're already climbing into the clouds.
5 minutes.
You see it getting kind of gray going through that top section of that emblem there. So I'll give you guys a 4-point roll, show you guys just how responsive and crisp it is with the Synapse. I might turn the roll gain down just a little bit. Might be a smidge too much. Give you guys an inverted transition here. Again, we're flying it in pretty tight because, well, it's cloudy. It's actually fog, it's not even clouds. so visibility isn't the greatest
Time remaining
today.
4 minutes.
It's definitely nice having a little extra push. We'll do a full throttle pass here. I mean, it's probably a little faster than with an 86. Yeah, it probably is definitely faster than it is with an 86, but this is not a speed airplane. It's not something you're going to go 200 miles an hour with. If it's doing 150, I would be shocked. Just a really sweet flyer. In my opinion, one of the best beginner turbine models out there. It looks way cooler than most of these, like, you know, the jet trainers that are most certainly jet trainers, the way they look. They fly great, you know, they're easy to fly, but they also aren't as maneuverable and capable in aerobatics as this model is. And I'm not even the best person to be showcasing you all those different maneuvers and whatnot, but it's super stable for landing and takeoff at low speeds, which is something you really want for a, you know, beginner turbo model. And so here we're gonna do a touch and go, full flaps in it. Look at that.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
So one of the things about the 102 versus like an 80 or an 86 is that it does have more residual thrust. So when you're coming into land, it's a little more difficult to modulate the throttle to keep the speed just right for touchdown, and it tends to pass you up a little bit easier just because there's a little more push there at idle. So that's the one thing I'm kind of having to get used to compared to the Swimming 80 that I had in my previous one. You see how solid this thing is coming into land. It's kind of crazy. But with a 102, you know, you can take it back off and have plenty of punch to get out of a bad situation.
Time remaining 1 minute.
As you can see, like I was saying earlier, the slow flight on this model is really, really sweet.
Seconds.
Lots of power. I also got the 102, you know, in case in the future I want to get a different model, and I could put this turbine in that model that might be a little bit bigger than this one. So, not that this is a small model by any means, but a 102 could fly a lot of different stuff. Let's go ahead and make this our final touchdown here.
Timer expired.
7 minutes. Look at this thing. You see it kind of stalled right there at the last couple inches off the ground, and it just kind of plopped in, but doesn't drop a wing. Very docile. The new version 2 looks so good compared to the sport scheme. And you can see I got a lot of flap in it, which really helps it slow down. On the front side of the flap is about 45 degrees. But show you guys control throws here really quick. So you can see I have a pretty good amount of offset in my roll. Doesn't take a lot of elevator, especially with the CG at 6 inches. and then a decent amount of rudder.
Minus 1 minute.
I do have some reflex programmed into the ailerons for the flaps. So the flaps go down, the ailerons come up just a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch. So anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. This is a really sweet flyer. And as you saw with the 102, it pushes it along really nice. And this is not ideal weather for flying turbines, but we wanted to get some video of it and show you guys just how sweet this thing is. But anyways, hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one.